Well, hello there, and welcome back from your spring break. I hope everyone had a safe and wonderful time. Everyone's relaxed and ready to go. I gave you a few extra days to get the play read because it's important that you are familiar with the play Doubt, a Parable. I'm still getting emails, people asking me how to find the play, which is a little discouraging, but there's a link to it on the course map, and there's also, you can Google it. Just Google doubt a parable PDF, and a free copy of the play online should come up. Okay, so today we're going to talk about a new way of looking at text that some of you may be familiar with, but I'm guessing most of you have not been familiar with. It's called semiotic analysis, okay? Semiotic, semiotic analysis. And what semiotic analysis is, it's looking at things in a text. And the name for those things is called a sign, S-I-G-N, okay? And you're using those signs to kind of be a doorway into talking about things in the text. And by things, I'm talking about very specific things. There is a semiotic iceberg that is added to the coursed in content, and it looks like this. You see this line above the water. This is a kind of a metaphor for semiotics. When you see an iceberg, you see just the tip. Well, it's the same thing when you see a sign. You see a thing, it's the thing. But then when you start analyzing it and making connections, it's got a whole list of ways to interpret that thing. And this is a great list to have handy whenever you're writing an essay, because it gives you things to think about. For example, some of the things on here are very similar to each other. There's subtle differences, and some of these things you may not have ever heard of. But please, as you're looking on here, I'm not going to go over all of these. But if there's something on this iceberg you're not sure what it is, that's an email to me so I can explain it personally rather than have to go over the whole thing for people who actually understand most of these. So let's just pick one. Persistent beliefs, okay? That's at the very top of the iceberg. There's no particular order that's important, but if you're looking at something, you're analyzing what are the persistent beliefs of this text. What do the characters believe that many people believe, or throughout history people believe? For example, a persistent belief of religion, if you've got religious issues or stories or characters kind of going on in the text, a persistent belief is that there is a higher power that is guiding us, that created us. That is considered a persistent belief. Another one, let's say, is so-called master narratives. Okay, a master narrative is a narrative that is consistent throughout time. For example, a boy meets girl, boy falls in love with girl, conflict, boy finds out girl has a boyfriend. Okay, they take those master narratives, writers and storytellers do, and they switch them up a little bit to make them new. For example, a more modern take on that might be boy meets girl, boy falls in love with girl, girl has girlfriend. Okay, so that's taking that same pattern of narrative, and all narrative means is story, and twist it a little bit. Okay, so let me give you an example. Well, before I give you an example, I'll put the example in another video. But what semiotics does is most of us are very used to starting with a thesis statement and writing to support that thesis statement and doing research to support that thesis statement. And some people are very good at organizing a thesis statement and then writing to support it. Some people, from the essays I've looked at, many of them struggle with coming up with that thesis statement. What is it in one sentence that you're telling the reader, this is what I'm writing about? There's still a lot of issues with some people kind of hitting around it. So we're going to work a lot this remaining of the semester working on thesis statements, and topic sentences, because those are the only way we need to organize our papers. Because without that kind of structure and organization, you tend to just give summary or opinion. And yes, analysis is your opinion, but it's informed opinion based on research, based on evidence from a text. So you got to make sure everything that's used as illustration, whether it be summary, whether it be opinion, is being organized through these topic sentence claims, which are all in support of your thesis statement. Okay? So, the semiotics is a little different because semiotics is writing to discover a thesis. Okay? And it's going to be like nothing you've ever written before. That's why we're going to take our time with it. I don't want to rush in, but I'm going to give you an example in the next video. Okay? So, this is a way of looking, semiotics. It'll all make sense as we go. It'll be confusing at the beginning, but just hang in there, okay? I will see you in the next video.